Hello, my name is Erica, and I'm the Dyslexic Trekkie. The Ferengi were originally intended to be the new villains of Star Trek The Next Generation. In it, they were meant to show a darker side of humanity through the typical allegory of aliens. They weren't just capitalists. The Ferengi were exploitative. They valued greed as a virtue, and they weren't afraid to con or lie to make a profit. The notion of an 80s villain being the personification of greed itself and the very worst parts of capitalism isn't exactly a shock. I don't know if they were intended to represent bad Jewish stereotypes, or if that was just an unfortunate side effect of making them this type of villain. I want to believe they were intended as a commentary on 80s capitalism, and not a representation of how we saw Jews. The other side of their culture is the sheer misogynism. One of the first things we ever see a Ferengi say is that it is disgusting to see a female wear clothes. Ferengi men don't allow women to wear clothes. They aren't allowed to make their own profit. They're not permitted to even own property. When I first saw this, I wasn't thinking a bad Jewish allegory. I was thinking a bad Muslim allegory. Yes, I know. In Islam, women cover their hair, and in extremist groups, women are clothed from head to toe. But the end result is the same. And if you want to argue that they can just go nude, try walking outside in pouring rain for an extended amount of time while fully nude and in anything under 70 degrees Fahrenheit. The sad part about this is, Islam is the only one of the three branches of the Abrahamic faiths to explicitly say men and women are equal. The misogyny we see in parts of the Middle East are an overlay from the cultures that were originally converted to Islam hundreds of years ago. So yes, it's a bad allegory. But this creates an interesting dynamic. Because men pursue profit through any avenue, often leaving Ferenginar to run businesses off-world, but women aren't even permitted to leave the home. Creating a family structure when half the population isn't permitted to speak, to leave the home, who are essentially slaves, and the other half is pursuing profit, maybe in their home world, but just as likely on the other side of the galaxy, becomes problematic at best. And this question is never fully addressed. Rom is the only Ferengi we meet who is and has been married. We know it was a contract between his ex-wife's father and him. She was just property borrowed for the purpose of having a son. And it was a temporary contract. She was basically rented out. We know that because the reason why he ends up living with Quark and working at the bar is because he's willing to spend so much money to keep her permanently that he's bankrupted, and then she goes back to her dad. Basically, he got conned. The only female we meet off Ferenginar is a woman presenting as a male so she can earn profit. Once she's exposed, it shames the men to know that they actually earn profit with a female, and the Grad Nagus scolds her like she's a bad girl. The only other female Ferengi we meet is Moogie, Quark and Rom's mom. Here, we not only learn that the Ferengi head for financial gain is not strictly masculine, but also not every male has it. Apparently, Quark got his aptitude for business from his mom, not his dad. But all this changes in Prophet and Lace, a Deep Space Nine episode where the Grand Nagus makes women legally equal to men in the sight of the law. It's just a shame that it was used as another piece of comedic relief. I may be going over this episode at some time in the future just to talk about because as I keep saying, have thoughts about this. In one episode in the new Star Trek series Prodigy, we meet a female Ferengi who raised the rogue captain of the ragtag crew. She's every bit the conniving, scheming Ferengi we're used to seeing. To us, what she does is deplorable. She's a con artist and a slave trader, but by Ferengi standards, she's a consummate businesswoman, an ideal of her race. I don't think the Ferengi ever lived down their initial goofiness. Quark, Rom, and Nog are the most memorable Ferengi by far, and they're still often used for the comedic relief. You know things are serious when the Ferengi aren't funny, but this means we don't know as much about their personal lives. And it's a shame. I think it's safe to say their currency becomes the primary and strongest currency in the Alpha-Beta quadrant. This makes them a critical part of the two quadrants' social structure. Better understanding their social structure would be nice. Thank you for watching. If you like this subject, please like, share, and subscribe. If you have any thoughts, feelings, or ideas on this subject, please share in the comments below. Again, my name is Erica, and I'm the Dyslexic Trekkie. Hello, my name is Erica, and I'm the dyslexic Trekkie. And that's my cat. Peter Parker picked a peckle. I can't even say that.